G'day team, how are we? Just ducking in. We're just getting in. So that's it, that's the fun. Put my hat over there, that's why the leaning. I know I've got to stop doing that sort of stuff on lives. How are we team? Welcome to the Sunday session. And today's Sunday session is led to you, not only by me, I'll be secondary today, but Big Muzz wants to step up and lead the men's mental health discussion. He's been more active in a lot of the group chats we're in, promoting this idea. So obviously that's a big part of his life. It is a big part of my life, and I want to give him this space to share his wisdom on the subject. So when Muzz gets on, we'll bring him on to talk about men's mental health, and there's a lot of things going on. I know this week on Tuesday I'm going to a footy club thing, and that's about mental health and stuff like that. It's a bigger subject that nowadays we start to talk about. So I can see Muzz is there. I've sent you an invitation, Muzz. Come on down. We'll get the internet working spectacular today. And here's Murray.
Hey guys, how are we? We finally made it.
Yay, we got the interweb working.
It's not Starlink, but bloody WestNet will have to do for now.
My faith is in Elon today. So I've already sort of broached the subject on men's mental health, Muzz, and I want to I've thrown you under the bus stop or whatever you want to say. So I want you to lead today, because this is obviously a more passionate subject for you. You've been more active in the group chats that we're in, and I want to give you this space to lead the subject and certainly share your wisdom as well as that to the rest of us. So here's the floor, mate. Take it away.
Thanks very much, Stuart. And look, I don't know if I've got much wisdom in this. It's something that we're all still learning. And as I've said before on my own pages, I've come across people who say that enough is enough about talking about mental health. I think they're wrong. Mental health is something that is still very much misunderstood, I think, and taken for not taken seriously enough, because there's so many different aspects to it that affect people in different ways. And there's still, like I have my own issues. I know that you have your things going on, Stuart, and there's quite a majority of us within the farm fence who have problems. And that's why, when I found out about the Australian Men's Health Forum, I think that's a pretty worthy cause to get behind, especially for blokes. Look, I'm not, and today I'm talking mostly about men's health, men's mental health. I'm not, and this is in no way disregarding women's mental health, but as I said, this week ahead. So from the 12th to the 18th is Men's Health Week, and then on Sunday next weekend, which is the 18th, is International Men's Health Day. So that's our focus, but I think it goes across the board. But one of the things, I'm just going through some facts and figures here. Some of this is a bit hard to understand. This is from the Australian Men's Health Forum page. So how about we start with a couple of quizzes, Stuart, that come with this?
Yep.
Yep. For that?
Yep. Bring it.
Righto. So exercise quiz number 1. Which of the following issues kills more Australian men? Diabetes, prostate cancer, skin cancer, male suicide, physical inactivity, road accidents, testicular cancer or illicit drugs?
Oh, that's a tough one, because I know in my lifetime I've seen a fair few people affected by drugs and stuff like that. I do know that in times of my life that and something I changed at the start of this year as far as activity. Something I find in my son was I was being a bit of a couch potato. I would go to work and come back and be inactive, and that was actually, I found, because I'm more aware of it, how that was affecting my mindset. And I really don't know what kills more men. Well, road accidents probably very little. I think male suicide due to mental stress would it's as simple as that. Like, some blokes just get to the end and they go, that's enough. And I've journeyed to that thin edge in my life. I got to that edge where I thought about it. I was at a really dark place in my life, and I could have run straight in the middle of Albany Highway and peak hour traffic and gone, fuck it. I was almost walking out the door. I was that close before I gave myself a kick in the ass. So, that's a big part. But as to why that happens, to other men, is something we certainly need to go in deeper. But that probably doesn't answer the question at all. But that's, I don't know what kills more men.
Well, this is where it's tricky, because there isn't actually a definite answer. I've got a list of things that affects men, that kills Australian men. So we've got 7 points here, and it's quite sobering to read. It's you'll notice I'm probably a bit emotional today, because reading these facts is a little bit it's confronting. So, number 1, physical inactivity causes 10 men's deaths a day.
Wow.
So 3,767 men a year. Number 2, prostate cancer kills 10 men a day and breaks down to 3,620 men a day. Male suicide, and look, I'm with you, Stuart. I thought this would have been number 1, but thankfully it's not. But male suicide kills 6 men a day. Illicit drugs causes 5 men's deaths a day. Skin cancer kills 4 men a day. Road accidents, 3 men a day. And testicular cancer kills 1 man every 10 days.
Wow, that's still far too many men dying for no reason. There's a reason to it, but there's no need for that sort of stuff. We've got reasons to live.
Absolutely, Stuart. I couldn't agree more. And I'm not saying that it's a good thing at all. One thing I forgot to mention is that the theme for this year's Men's Health Week, is healthy habits. And so they're pushing for us as men, to exercise more. And Stuart, you're killing it, mate, because you're doing your 5x5 a day.
Yep.
Every day. Getting off the couch and doing shit. Fucking wacko. Like, that's... I know myself, this last week I felt like crap, and my weight has gone up. I've been really proud of over the last 12 months, I've slowly got my weight down 7 kilos to a point. But now my weight's actually increased. My mood has dropped and everything. So that's why I'm probably not fully myself today. What's the change? Inactivity. There's one thing I finally clicked on, and I was looking, I use my health app on my phone, measuring my steps. So that's not 100%, but my steps have dropped by about 2,000 steps a day, where I can't afford it, where, I've been managing to average about. So as people, we're supposed to be averaging 10,000 steps a day. Um,
Give or take, yeah. And
give or take. But at the moment, I'm averaging about 6,000 steps, or have been. So now I'm only getting about 4,000 steps a day. It's numbers, it's whatever, but there is that thing which has changed us. So with us not exercise, like, people, for this instance, men need to be exercising more to try and beat these things. As you said, like the suicide, as you say, there's always a reason. And people who say that suicide is a coward's way out, I'm sorry, I have no respect for you, because you think about it. Stuart, you said yourself just a minute ago, it's come close. For me, it's come close. The only thing that's ever held me back is the fear of what if, what am I missing out on in life? And to be completely blunt, it's kind of bloody hurt.
yeah.
So people are pushed to that point,
Yep.
for a bloody good reason. So it could be helped through a lot of things we're talking about here. Avoiding drugs, talking to a mate, and exercise, perhaps.
Yeah.
But
and that's a classic. It's just something that in community mindset that's promoted the old ABC, act, belong, commit, as part of a sporting club. And that's one.
Yes.
That's a big reason why, for my mental health, that I play footy. Is it's more about getting out of my tiny piece of world here and go and be part of something bigger than myself, like the footy club, and that
Yes.
little bit of physical activity and being part of community and talking to people can make all the difference in someone's life. And even the new guys that have started this year, even as a club, we've evolved to go, right, fellas, there's new guys here. Go out of your way to go have a beer with them. Make them feel welcome. Find out what they do and don't do and what they like and don't like. It's not their job to be introducing themselves. It's your job as an already established team member to go, all right, we're going to encourage these new guys in a similar fashion to when we bring people into this online business. There's similar. So all in the community that we're in, you see all the introductions, and there's actually a chat and a process before that's the person that has brought them to the business actually understands them a little bit. Like I remember the chat that Kelly and I had before I started, and we got right into family situations and stuff like that, and we align on certain aspects of that with children with ADHD, and that also creates a mental challenge. There's nothing that triggers a person more than family, right? Work is one stress.
Yes.
All these things happen. There's nothing that triggers a single person more than family. Emotional pain is probably the biggest driver on the mental state. And that's, so that getting to have a chat and include someone and know people like all you ladies and gents in the farm fence, we know you from somewhere, or we like to know you more. And if you want to chat to us, by all means, send us a message. We've got all sorts of big ears to listen to and stuff like that. So that's part of acting and belonging and committing to this group. Is we're here to share the wisdom and support you people as much as you are here to like and share our videos and get on the YouTube channel and share all that wisdom too.
Exactly right, Stuart. I mean, I believe that this group of ours is a chance to act, belong, commit, and any community should, I believe, at their core, behave this way.
Yeah.
I think that most of the time in look, any community, but especially in rural communities, it's a lot more prevalent because there's less interference coming on from the business of a city, perhaps. But we rely quite heavily on it out here, don't we? I mean, from your hometown and my hometown, we have groups, activities, whatever, to bring us together. You said you've got your footy club, you've got, I'm not actually, there's something we need to talk about at some point, see how you're getting on with the rally car museum. Things like that. For us, we have our horse race meets, gymkhanas. In town, I don't know if they're still playing footy or not. They used to. There's darts club. All these things so that we can all come together. And you notice it when someone doesn't turn up, and that starts bringing people together. Say, shit, are they okay? What's happened? Where are they? What's going on? Yes, we all gossip. We all probably get in each other's business a bit too much, but it's part of our community, and for the most part, it comes from a place of being interested in what's happening in other people's lives because we actually bloody care.
And something that sort of reminded me of a subject. It's something that's happened that's really hit me in the heart this year. Is so we've had a bit of a shit run with seeding, and Dad's been under a bit of stress and stuff like that. And we were barely even started. Dad said to me, "I'm not going to golf today. I've got too much work to do. I've got this, that's it."
Yeah.
I said, "No." So get in your car and go play golf. Go. You got to switch off for that. But go play golf. And that was also after Mum had put a message on Facebook to go, right, we've got some shit going on. So if people wouldn't mind, because Dad's not on Facebook. So if people wouldn't mind, all Horry's mates, just come out and have a coffee, check on him, say good day, make sure he's going okay. And before this first rain that happened a couple of weeks ago now, we had and we talked about it, and this is still not our tractor moving. You might be able to hear it in the paddock just next to the house here. The neighbours are just finishing off that variety of wheat, and then we've got ours going because we had a breakdown started last week. But it was really evidence to me that the community does care, because we had another boom spray and 3 air seeder rigs that weren't ours turn up and put some crop in for us before that first rain. And they're there. Yes, it helps me, but it's primarily to help Dad, because Dad's worked so long and so hard for this. They don't want to see him overly affected by it, and they don't want to see him go down without a fight. So, it was really, really great for that community spirit to come out and just get it done. And I had to do my share, and I was really thankful, and I thanked everyone on my pages and stuff like that on Instagram and Facebook to make sure that I acknowledged that their assistance was done. But yeah, that was a really great part of being community. Like, Dad hasn't been part of the footy club for a while. He's been playing his golf, but he's done a lot for the community. It was great for the community to go, all right, it's really doing it tough. It's time we step out. And now I think part of his life that there are mates that acknowledge that maybe he isn't as tough and doing as well as everyone may think. So they're making an effort to check up on him. Go, hey, how you going at golf? Come to golf. We'll play 9 holes. Don't have to play 18. Come play 9. We'll just have a chat, talk shit, whinge about the broken down tractor again, bloody thing. But yeah, it's good to see that in the community, because we have been affected by a couple of young male suicides out in this community. So I'm sure this community is very touched by mental health. And it's just good to see that the physical part of being active and helping a mate, talking to a mate, being part of a club has flow-on effects in life. Like there's a huge part of in our country communities where you know, we do matter. We do give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing out of your story just now, Stuart, that I think is the most important aspect is your mum reaching out for your dad. Because the fact that she knows that your community can come together to help him, that alone is pretty bloody special.
There's
because
true power in that. That's a big thing too.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a bigger person to ask for help than it does to you know, to receive help is one thing, but when you find yourself in a really tough spot and you have to ask for it, there's a strength in that. Like that's a big. Not everyone will do it, and maybe that's probably a key part in the mental and the male suicide thing is not everyone asks for help.
No.
You might not know that, and something I noticed in a few reels is like that. The happiest person in a room could also be the person who's doing it the toughest. You know, like you go to a club and someone's, you know, the person that's cheering everyone up might seem happy, but maybe they've got some serious shit going on at home or behind the scenes, but they know the journey and they want to help lift everyone else up. So, you know, as much as the guy might look happy, you know, on Facebook, I portray a fairly happy-go-lucky person, but sometimes we do it tough. And, you know, to have people to talk to, and that's a good thing.
Very much so, Stuart. And again, what more can you say? I mean, that's learning to reach out. I think is a skill that we probably need to learn more about, or to accept more. And yeah, I mean, I know. Hey, I'm one of the prime suspects here because I have people when I've fallen into a hole. I have one of my neighbours quite often. He's an uncanny bastard. He'll ring me and say, "How's things going?" And then I'll bloody burst into tears or whatever. And he said, "You bastard, I told you that he don't ever hold back.
Yep.
If you ever have an issue, ring me."
Yep.
And that's really cool. And I had somebody else say something similar lines a while ago. I appreciate the fact I've got people out there, and that to me it means the world. But it's just making that connection for me. I have problems with. But look, anyway, it's not all about me. It's something that we all. I'm using myself as an example to say to people, look, you're not alone in not talking, but it is something that people like myself who don't talk, pull your head in.
Yeah.
And learn that it's okay.
And I've done some deep diving on this subject. So with us not asking for help, is that a masculine thing? Is that a generational thing? Like as men in particular, are we, they say unconditional love. Women, children, and animals have get unconditional love. Men have conditional love by the things we can protect, provide, and things like that. So we have those two conditions in our lives, almost from birth. You know, when we go into manhood and stuff, that seems to be our value is not our level of able to protect and provide for our family. And we don't get a choice to be emotionally vulnerable or available because we've just got to go do the work. Just got to go get it done. Like there was an example that you get this really shit task, right? You get 100 women to do this really shit task and you get 100 men to do exactly the same task. Who's going to finish it?
Women.
No, because it was actually, the fact was the men will finish it because they'll find a way. They'll do whatever it takes to finish that shitty task. The women get emotionally attached to it and they'll just leave.
Yeah, right.
So
I find it really interesting.
I can't remember where I saw that, but that was the fact out of that thing. Like they gave 100 women, 100 men this shitty task, and the women didn't complete it because they got emotionally attached to it, and men just go, doesn't matter. We just got to get it done. So we do it.
Yeah.
And is that the deep-seated, multi-generational, multi-family scenario, particularly for rural communities, we tend to suffer more from that sort of thing. Just go put the crop in. Just get to town and do your shopping. Just go do it. We don't allow ourselves, and that's probably part of the newer system that we're trying to create worldwide, I suppose, is that it's okay to speak out. It's okay for men to feel shit, have feelings, and it is talk to a mate type scenario. But there is possibly the cause is possibly what they call toxic masculinity, in effect, that you are only valued by your ability to protect and provide. Other than that, shut the fuck up and just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us are sort of not necessarily brought up directly under that influence, but it could be that sort of influence in the world that we need to change, because this is a worldwide subject. It's not specific to an industry. It's not specific to a country. It is all the way from the bottom of Africa to the top end of Russia, you know, all the way from the royal family to the bottom end of Tasmania. It's right across this world, this sort of subject, and that sort of, it could be that reason, that masculinity portrayal. You know, what is a man? Like if you were to ask someone, what is a man? That's could be hard to define, and that's part of the how do you get a man's mental health if you can't define a man? Or how do you define a man? There's lots of questions within the process. That's part of when I've cracked my nut. I've had men and women ask me some really deep questions, like they go, "Who are you?" I'll go, "Well, I am a farmer. I'm a high-ticket affiliate marketer. I am a race car driver." No, they're things you do. They're not who you are. It's like, who are you on the inside? Well, I'm a dad. No, it's not what you do. You are not what you do. You are someone inside that matters. And that conversation, like I've broken down in some of these conversations to thing. And it's great to have that access to people. But that's deep diving in on that subject of who am I. Part of the reason why I made these fitness changes is because I didn't like who I was in the mirror. Yeah. So to go, all right, I've got to get off my ass and do my 5x5, which I've now rebranded that subject in the morning, because we're not just doing 5 things 5 times anymore. We've actually got some rhythm and momentum going, and it's just called Getting It now. So 7 o'clock, I'm getting
it. You said
getting it, yeah. GETTIN, it.
Yeah.
So you've just got to. You are your own worst enemy and your best friend at the same time. To make a difference in our lives, sometimes, like people sitting on a couch, they lack motivation. But motivation isn't a thing. The really successful people in the world. So if you look at, use David Goggins for example. I've listened to his audiobooks and stuff. So where he changed his life was he was a fat bloke sitting on a couch. How does a fat bloke sitting on a couch become a Navy SEAL and a Ranger and do ultra marathons and stuff like that? It doesn't happen overnight. He's just got to get off his ass and he starts getting at it. And he's created this whole attitude and personal brand around. Like that's one of the things I actually started saying to people now. It's like, they go, what are you doing? I'm just goggins the fuck up. I'm just getting it. Just get up and get it. Because discipline, you don't need to be motivated to do something. You just need to be disciplined enough to do it. So to have my affirmations, my physical activity, my mates to talk to, that's why in life I feel like I'm winning. It's a big part of what we need more people to do. And you know, the blokes at the footy club that watch this video, they'll poke fun and maybe they will or they won't, but they listen. There was even an interesting conversation in the change rooms yesterday. After footy, we're getting changed and we're talking about something else, and it come up. I go, oh, with my morning fitness, right? So apart from I do my morning things, and it really doesn't matter what I do, you just got to get your body pumped up, get really warm and sweaty and whatever, push-ups, sit-ups, whatever works for you. Go for a run, doesn't matter. And then I go home. I'm in the house when I do it. Then I go, turn the shower on, jump straight in the shower. Cold shower. Takes about 2 minutes for it to warm up. But I go, right, I've got to have that cold shower for 2 minutes. Like sports people get in ice baths and stuff. So the Wim Hof breathing techniques and the cold shower. So I get in that cold shower for 2 minutes. And then I get that shower as hot as possible. As hot as I can handle it after that. On the theories, there's no I don't have any scientific proof to it, but I've seen enough things that's what I've adapted into my morning routine, that your fitness, you're doing something, but then the cold shower releases the cold shock protein from your liver to help you recover. This is a natural thing that happens in your body. You don't need to take drugs or anything for it, right? This is just stuff that happens that your body automatically does. So that cold shower releases that cold shock protein, helps your body recover, puts you in a fight or flight reflex in that sort of state. Then getting super warm after that, it doesn't really relax you, but what that helps is your body makes some change in the brain somewhere, and you start releasing more testosterone. Naturally, this is a physical change within your body due to the environmental situation you put yourself in. So to help me, I've actually noticed not in the fitness things, I wasn't losing my belly fat type thing. But since doing that cold, hot shower thing, I've actually started to lose more body fat. So yeah, there's more, that's more awesome things of it. So I was talking about that in the change rooms, and one guy had a giggle, and another guy would go, hang on, no, don't giggle. I was listening to that. I wanted to know. Like, so there's this conversation within the club. There are blokes that, you know, at over 40, your body, you need to find your advantages to do things. And if it takes talking to a mate, go have a beer, go run around the footy oval, jump in a cold fucking shower. Do things that are not normal to be, your best version of yourself, to conquer whatever demons you've got. Because there's a switch in my brain every time, and I don't ever want people to fully understand where I go when I cross that white line. Like when I cross that footy field line, there are demons inside that I hide very well. And I'm sure I'm not the only person, right? But there are demons inside that I cross that line, and the warrior inside of me is stepping across that line. That's why I do it. Because if I don't cross that line there, that energy inside has to come out somewhere else. So it was good for me to release that as a shearer. It was really good for me to release that, because you can, push a few sheep around and find your manly state and stuff like that, and you've got to release the energy. So that's part of being active.
Absolutely.
I suppose that's, yeah. It's all the same message, just doing something. Yeah.
Doing something, mate. And I think in amongst that, there's a couple of things I think we can really take away from that, because, as you said, you know, amongst my blathering, I've been trying to talk about talking to people, all the rest. But some of us can't. And so this is where learning to be your own best friend, as opposed to your worst enemy, is good, because it can be there for yourself through this discipline of going for a bloody run, doing the hot and cold showers. There's a gentleman who runs a clinic of sorts called Know Your Breath. He's got a page on Facebook if anyone's interested. A friend of mine put me onto him. She reckons like he's just the duck's nuts. So he does a lot of breathing exercises, etc., etc. He's next level, and might be something that might interest you, Stuart. He at his house, and he's in Perth here, and he has a freezer.
I'm still on Facebook, Dad. Dad just come looking for me.
And oh, go on, Stuart, you've got work to do. It's a freezer full of ice water.
Yep.
And he gets in every day, doing his breathing exercises, and a lot of that. So as you said, I do this every day for discipline, as well as for the cold shock factor.
Yep.
But motivation, there's a quote I saw the other day. Motivation only gets you so far. It then comes down to you to create your own discipline, to get off your fucking ass and do something about your life. And that's what you're saying there about, you know, you're getting up in the morning and you're getting it. Is that right?
Yep.
You're getting it.
Yep. And
so you're giving yourself that boost. Right, I can do that. Now I can do the next thing. And then I can do the next thing. And I can do the next thing. And that's how you kick your goals. But coming back to the exercise thing, you just said you crossed that line. Demons, I mean, look, I'm better now than I used to be. I think that has come a lot with age. Poor old bastard, I'm 34 this soon. But thankfully I've learned a little bit as I have gotten just a little bit older, where my fuse has got a bit longer.
Yep.
The demons you talked about aren't coming out quite as much in fits of anger of throwing tools across the flat and being quite a nasty little bastard. And that's where, again, exercise is great, because however you do it, whether it's through your push-ups and bloody build up a sweat and just pushing those demons out, getting on the footy field, getting on the polocross field, swimming, whatever your choice of sport may be. For me, you know, I'm sorry, I hate running. But at the moment, when I need to really get my ass into gear and get back into doing my half-hour walks every morning, then coming back and pushing out push-ups and sit-ups. The walk gives me clarity. Within half an hour, I can do 3,500 steps.
Yep.
So that's a good start to my day and getting my tally up. And then I can come back, do my stretches, limber up for the day, and then, whatever else to get my sweat out and get my breathing up.
Yeah.
These are little things that everybody can do each. I think for those who have trouble reaching out, this is some way to help ourselves look after ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's a perfect way to do it. Like you're doing your version, I'm doing my version. We're both sharing our versions, and that's great. Yeah, they're both great systems. It's all roughly the same thing, and
it's all roughly the same.
Yeah, like the motivation comes from the discipline. The more you do it, the more results you see, the more you want to do it. and sometimes you have to do it. That, you know, the point of the whole getting it thing, and from what I've seen, is the discipline comes before motivation, because
Yes.
because you don't have to be motivated to do it. Discipline is you just do it, and some you have to do it on the day you're not motivated, because you know the results you're going to get by doing it are going to be something better. Like you've discussed about your weight going up a bit, and you want to increase your steps and stuff like that. So you've got your results to go, all right, I have, this is my metric, so I'm going to increase that. I got off my ass in February this year because I saw what I did over summer, and I remember what I did the year before, and I didn't want to do the same thing again. So the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So if you want to get better, if you know you're not right, if you know you're not feeling right, you have to do something different. That's probably the key message.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what. Well, it does. It has to be legal. But you have to do something. And if you're not sitting on the couch playing Xbox like a 10-year-old kid, then because you know, I was there once upon a time, a little teenager, get down, sit down and play old Nintendo, and wasn't that active. But then I went back to boarding school, and you play sport and stuff like that. So there was a balance. As an adult,
Absolutely.
we don't have those routines or that discipline. Sometimes in, you know, post-school, adults have that gap year and stuff like that. I don't know if I had a gap year. I probably had a gap decade where I just did whatever I wanted and didn't think about the consequences and stuff like that, active or not active. So, heaps of water. I'm full.
Just touching on that, mate, and it was something I woke up with this morning, you know, thinking about the very exact thing about the, you know, 10-year-old sitting on the Xbox. And people told me my whole life, I've always been quite a healthy eater, and I love my food. And one of the things people always kept saying to me growing up is that you've got to be careful how much you eat, because it's all right now while you're a young fella, like as a kid, teenager, very early 20s, you've got your natural youth metabolism there working in your favour to burn the stuff off easily. But it's then when you get older, you know, I mean, 34, 40, things start slowing down, so it's time to start setting ourselves up to keep looking after ourselves. And it's not just for the physicality, it's for the mentality. And that discipline, we've said this before in previous Sunday sessions where, you know, in the military, that's what all the disciplinary training comes into, making everything a muscle memory, to just bloody do it. Because, you know, from their point of view, if you're in a battle situation or whatever situation they're facing, don't have somebody be, you know, patting them on the shoulder saying, you know, there, it's okay, you know, you're going to get through this. Yep. No, you got to fucking look after yourself to get out of the situation, to help your mates and yourself get through this difficult spot. So discipline's a huge thing.
Yeah, it is. It's probably, yeah, we could talk for hours on this sort of subject, because there's so much. There's so much to talk about. Like, it's something, like you said at the start, it's not something we should let go of. It's a subject we need to talk more about. It's something that never needs to stop. We can goggins the fuck up and never stop.
I think, and as I said, we could talk about for hours. We've got to be a bit careful because I'll probably need to get going shortly. But One thing you said before is, depression. The masculinity that we're facing these days is it generational? Is it indoctrinated into us from whenever? Masculinity, I think, has changed a lot. In so many aspects in the last 100 years. And once upon a time, masculinity was something that we're all very proud of. Your alpha, beta stuff.
Yep.
Especially alpha. Everyone's striving to be alpha male. Now, there's a lot of community sex rules that have changed. And role rules that have changed.
Yeah, roles have changed. Yeah.
Despite the fact that we don't just have two genders anymore, that's fine. That's each to their own.
Yep.
What I'm trying to get at is that there's been a huge change to what we have traditionally believed to be masculinity. So this is where now things have to change a bit, or do they have to change, or do we have to be aware more of what masculinity is? I think this is a discussion for another day.
Yeah, this is probably something we can look at on next Sunday when we talk about Men's Mental Health Day. I think you've started a great subject. That and does it stem from equality? So traditionally, men building houses and bridges and all this sort of stuff, and nowadays, I follow a few people on Instagram, got diesel queens, and they're fully qualified diesel mechanics fixing cars and trucks and stuff like that, and good on them, which was traditionally a masculine industry. With the equality of the thing, did alpha masculinity get blurred enough that then when we have stay-at-home dads or single dads, we've then had a role reversal, because that then creates the feminine type scenario where traditionally that was the woman's domain to cook and clean and look after the kids. When you go back to the hunter and gatherer days, that was sort of the thing. In the most animal kingdoms, that is the way it works. That dad kills animals or hunts the food and brings it back, and mum looks after the babies. That could be certainly the deeper subject as to how that then affects where the alpha, beta, gamma, sigma males come into the scenario and how the world has changed.
Yes.
So I think that's a great subject. We'll deep dive in on next Sunday after I do my 5 posts this week about men's mental health. Have you frozen, Muzz? Oh yeah, you're there. Yep.
I mean, especially I did this last year. I tried to do a post every day regarding men's mental health. I don't care, because, like Stuart just said, it can't be talked about enough. And so, let's do it. I'll probably leave this now, and we can look forward to next Sunday session for International Men's Health Day. Let's kick some goals.
Let's get it. Keep on getting it.
Let's get it. And thanks for letting me have this, Stuart, buddy. Let me have this run. So, as I said, I'm pretty passionate about it. So, thanks a lot, mate.
No worries. Do you want to do our famous sign off today as well, being the team leader?
Well, we'll give it a whirl. So today, and today and every day, I just like to thank all our farmers and people in the agricultural sector. our servicemen who have fought for our freedom in this country, and the truck drivers who supply everything in between to, getting our produce from our properties to our other people's tables. So good on you. Thank you. Oh,
Yeah, thank
and if
you.
you're watching us on YouTube, oh yeah, you got that, Stuart.
don't forget to click the like and subscribe and all that sort of fun stuff that we do.
Absolutely.
Share it with your mates. That's the new one for today. Share it with your mates.
Share it with your mates. Exactly right. Good call, Stuart. I like that.
Uh-huh.
So
perfect.
No,
all right.
Thanks everybody for watching us.
Thanks everyone. We'll sign off now. Have a good one, people.